Hey everyone, Mega Man NG here, and if you're wondering why this is late, yes, that's why. Basically, I just finished watching the 3 missing TMNT episodes that I forgot to review. With the new one coming tomorrow, I figured why not provide my quick thoughts on each of them. So here's how it's going to be done. I'm going to be providing my thoughts on each one by one. Since each of these are half an hour, I just provide my quick thoughts on it, and that's pretty much it. But I hope you won't be disappointed because hopefully tomorrow I'll be back up to speed and continue with my TMNT episode review. Besides, it's high time I make sure I do so. Okay, so let's get started. Up first is Riddle of the Ancient Aeons. In this episode, the Turtles and their crew head to a strange planet in hopes of finding the first piece of the black hole generator. Unfortunately, they're not the only ones that are after it. The Triceratons are there too, and a small platoon has been assigned to pick it up. So it now becomes a race against time in order to obtain the first piece, all while trying to survive the planet's harsh atmosphere. And I gotta admit, it's been a long time since we haven't had any new episodes, but it's good that we saw some episodes again, new ones actually, and this one right here was pretty good. But at the same time, it was also very scary and mystic. I like how the plot is now moving forward, especially with the Turtles having to hunt down the black hole generator pieces. And we're now seeing the first one happen. Not to mention, this planet that they're on is scary and evil. Evil, especially when it affects the Turtles in the worst way possible, bringing out their worst emotions, hate, rage, anger, etc. It was crazy. And it was scary, too, seeing them fight. Although that was one of the episode's flaws, because their infighting got a bit old fast. Especially when you saw that Raph and Mikey were arguing again, you know it's going to be predictable. Very, very predictable. But other than that, the episode was very good. I loved it. The action was good, especially when they took on the demon bats. And it was nice seeing April actually have more involvement for a change. This episode actually centered more on April because it also centered on her powers. It also centered on what she plans on doing with it. And we also get a detailed explanation on how the planet ended up like that in the first place. And when I saw it, it was scary. It was just absolutely scary. Scary, terrifying, you name it. It was just something else. So what do I think of it? Like I said, it was very good. Very awesome, very nice, and I loved it. I liked it a lot, especially at the ending. The ending was actually pretty good too, since now April now has a piece of the Dawn Star. And makes you wonder what she plans on doing with it. You guys know that April has been training a lot to control her powers and hopefully get stronger. Maybe with that, it'll make her even more powerful. But who knows? Only time will tell. If I were to give this, I'd give it a rating. I give it an 8 out of 10. Very good. Very fun episode. Good character interaction, character development, especially for April. The action scenes were good. The ending was actually pretty nice. And the plot is now doing good, moving forward. And I like it a lot. I will say this, that if things continue as they are, I know this season is going to be big and it's going to be epic, especially with what's yet to come. I really mean it. Next up is Journey to the Center of Mikey's Mind. Mere words cannot describe how weird and how cool this episode is. The Turtles reach a cantina hoping they can get info about the Triceraton mothership so they can steal a piece of the black hole generator. It's continuing from last week's episode, or the episode I watched previously. But when microscopic aliens invade the mind of Michelangelo, it's up to the Turtles to enter inside their friend's subconscious and stop them. Friend, or was it his brothers? It doesn't really matter though, because this episode is weird, it's crazy, and it is awesome. Yes, it was awesome because there were so many callbacks to previous stuff. For example, the cantina scene in the beginning of the episode reminded me straight out of Star Wars. I swear, when you watch the cantina scene, put the Star Wars cantina music, and then you notice it familiar. And right off the bat, it was just very cool. And the shootout there was awesome too. But my only problem with the episode is that, yeah, it takes halfway through to get to the part with Mikey's mind. And speaking of which about Mikey's mind, oh my god. When I saw them enter Mikey's mind, especially with his imagination, it was the weirdest, strangest, craziest thing I've ever seen. It was nuts. And the world fit, it really did make sense because it actually involved Mikey's mind. And yes, it was insane. Now, we were introduced to new characters. Apologies if I'm stuttering, of course. we're introduced to new characters such as Betty Bomb, or is it Belly Bomb? It's actually Belly Bomb, who was a character from the TMNT Archie comics, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventure comics. Yeah, he appeared there in the comic series. Not to mention, we also see the Neutrinos. Now, before anybody asks, let me explain. You guys know the Neutrinos were actually good guys in previous incarnations of the TMNT, such as the 80s series, as well as the IDW comics, and they're good guys. Here, they are bad guys, and they're microscopic for a reason, not to mention heavily armored and annoying. Yeah, they really were a tough threat, but when they reach at the very end, at the very end of the episode, they got their butts handed to them by Mikey's imagination. May I also mention that little Mikey is the cutest thing ever? It was just so cute. He was just cute. And it was also nice seeing his imagination kick their butts. And of course, Belly Bomb got what's coming. What surprises me even more is that he works for Dreg. So I wouldn't be surprised if we would be seeing Lord Dreg down the line. Overall, it was pretty good, but many say that the problem is that the episode was pretty much filler. But I consider it a good kind of filler. A good kind of filler that's funny, has good action, massive callbacks to previous stuff such as like Star Wars, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, etc. It was nuts. It really was. And I'm giving it, like the previous one, Riddle of the Ancient Aeons, I give Journey to the Center of Mikey's Mind an 8 out of 10. Great episode. I loved it. It was awesome. That's all I'm going to say about it. And last but not least is the Arena of Carnage. This episode, like the previous two, basically connects the entire story regarding the first piece of the black hole generator into a 3-part story, with this one being the conclusion of sorts. The Turtles and the Fugitoid infiltrate the Triceraton mothership to get their hands on the first piece of the black hole generator. However, things don't end well and they get captured. Yes, that's bad. Now, in order for them to escape with their lives, they have no choice but to fight and survive in the Triceraton arena. While at the same time, the Fugitoid, April, and KC work on a mission to get the first piece of the generator. Not much of a summary, but yes, this episode was intense with action. Even for a 22-minute episode, it was nice. The beginning of it, the early parts, really did remind me of the fighting games with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Heck, Leo even did a Sure You Can, which was pretty cool. However, what was interesting is that it introduced a lot of new characters. First is the Emperor of the Triceratons, Emperor Zanmaran, voiced by Michael Ironside. And he apparently outranks even Mozart, who, after getting the first piece, was promoted to Admiral. Zanmaran wasn't quite as imposing, but with Michael Ironside doing the voice, it was just really threatening. Oh, and by the way, Michael Dorn voices Mozart. And Mozart was a really ruthless general. Ruthless Admiral, to be specific. But the Emperor, or rather Michael Ironside, did a great job voicing the Emperor. It was nice. And we also get a new character, Zeno. He's voiced by, you guessed it, John DiMaggio. I mean it, one of the most well-known voice actors ever voicing a Triceraton. And that is just so cool. It really is awesome. But this also shows that not all Triceratons are bad guys. There are some good Triceratons, and this one is a good guy. I hope we get to see him again in future episodes. Not to mention the action in the Triceraton arena was out of this world. I didn't think the Triceratons would have something like this. But it's been like that ever since the original black and white comics that were designed by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. Yeah, I believe there was a nod to like in the early bits with involving the Fugitoid when they reached the Triceraton homeworld, they were forced to fight against the Triceratons in a gladiator-style tournament. However, in this case, the Turtles had to fight some weird alien monster with tentacles and a whole load of eyes, and then they were forced to fight Zeno. But eventually, the ending was just not only hilarious, but awesome at the same time. Really awesome, really intense, although I felt it was kind of a bit predictable. But I feel it was done in such a way that was so good, I liked it. I really did. So like every other episode, I give it an 8. But better yet, for this case, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. It is, I believe, in my opinion, the best of the 3. Though the first one was good, and the second one was just hilariously awesome, though it was fillery at best. The third really provided a bit of satisfaction, as the Turtles now have the first piece of the black hole generator. I'm more curious about what they're going to do once they find the second one. It's not going to be easy, believe me. So anyway, that's it for my triple TMNT 2012 episode review covering episodes 5 through 7 of Season 4. Now that I'm up to speed, tomorrow we will be reviewing the next episode, The War for Dimension X. Oh man, it's going to be glorious. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys next time. And yes, it's actually called for tomorrow's episode, The War for Dimension X. And this one's going to be good. All right, peace out.